And good morning, everyone. This is Josiah Pike with Alaska's News Source, coming to you with a story that we republished from the Alaska Beacon with their permission. The Alaska Supreme Court is upholding the state regulator's decision to grant permits for a large gold mine planned for southwest Alaska. Now, that's according to the Alaska Beacon, as we previously stated. This was a unanimous ruling published Friday, where the court's 5 justices said the Alaska Department of Natural Resources did not need to consider the environmental impact of the entire proposed Donlin mine when it approved water use permits and a right-of-way permit needed for a natural gas pipeline intended to power the mine. Now, the ruling has implications for many major development projects on private land and likely applies to projects on federal land, such as the large oil projects on Alaska's North Slope. Now, this natural gas pipeline will stretch across state land, but the mine itself will be dug on land whose subsurface rights are owned by Callista Corporation, which is a regional Alaska Native corporation. Now, just to give you some quotes from some of the parties involved, and this full story can be found on our website, alaskasnewssource.com, so feel free to check it out there. But from Attorney General designee Stephen Cox, he said, quote, in a written statement, "This decision is a major win for Alaska. The court rightly recognized that the state's permitting process met constitutional standards and that Article 8 of the Alaska Constitution does not extend to lands owned by Alaska Native corporations or their private entities. This ruling not only affirms the integrity of DNR's work, but also protects the rights of Alaska Native corporations and provides certainty for future development." That's a quote from, again, Stephen Cox, Attorney General designee. Now to quote another source, Dario Borgeson, who is the one of the justices on this behalf, and he was writing on behalf of the court when he made this statement. He said, because these are private resources rather than state resources, the department was not required to consider the cumulative impacts of their development when deciding whether to allow the use of the state waters and access over state lands to develop the mine. And just to repeat some of this information again from this article from the Alaska Beacon we're republishing with their permission, the state Supreme Court has upheld state regulators' decision to grant permits for a large gold mine planned for southwest Alaska, which is bringing the Donlin project a step closer to construction. Now, to get the full details on this story, check out our website, alaskasnewssource.com, as well as our daily news broadcasts or our mobile app. Those are all great sources to get the most up-to-date information on the story. Thank you again for tuning in this morning or afternoon, and have a good day.